Okay. Episode 8 of Awakening. Another one that has not been opened, so we're going to cut it open now. Okay, we got... What the... Well, it must have got some water damage or something to it. Got some red... Is that Kool-Aid? Let's see, we got... Another letter. Black folder. Files. Let's see, we got some other stuff. Let's see what else we got in here. Let's take a look. All kinds of good stuff. Ooh, we got a little code wheel. Heartburn night. Ooh, what's all this stuff? All kinds of stuff in here. There's something in here. What is that? A little... Oh, there is a little red puff thingy. That is. What is that? Put in there so don't get lost. Okay. So let's get down to business. Excuse me. Okay. So we're going to start out with the John William. What is this? Let's see. Okay. We're going to start with the Felix note from... Supposed to come... I guess this is from Listening Friends, but we'll figure it out. This is actually a letter to George from Felix. George says ex-literis, which means it's in the letters. George, I ask you to use the secure Listening Friends of America system to contact me in the future. However, there will be no further discussion on the matter regarding which you contact me. Shifts in social dynamics are common in any group, particularly among our facilities. I have seen it before. It is nothing that cannot be handled at the appropriate time, with the appropriate evidence. I am beginning to think you are growing paranoid in your position and are letting your fears get the better of you. Relax. We will take care of you should the need arise. But I assure you, this is nothing to be concerned about. Please do not contact me through the mail again. F. So why would George Madsen be using mail instead of a server that's right in his office? Could John William James have gotten access to a server too? This would have been before he died, like boxes and boxes ago. Something we should think about. Okay, next thing we have is the John William James letter, which, oh wow, oh my gosh. What the, it's got a little piggy in it. I'll show you a better picture of that. There's a little tiny pig emblem. It looks like it's real silver. That's pretty neat. Okay, and oh, what the? Oh, it's stuck together. Ugh. Oh my gosh, is this blood? I think this is covered in blood. Okay. My dearest friend, I do hope you know how much I value your companionship. Our relationship, though it may be unconventional, is a precious thing. All friends are. Yet where does one draw the line between friend and friendship? Are they inseparable? I used to think that was the case. Indeed, the world has once again disproved the myth of the incorruptible bond. I stand now behind yet another friend who has chosen to avoid our convivial camaraderie and betray me like so many others. Uh-oh. This... You know what? I'm not going to read into it yet. If he's standing behind him, does that mean that this is his blood? Could this be Nilsson's blood? George Madison, unimaginative and cynical, he was my friend. Lloyd McGowan, ragged and wretched, he was my friend. Yet both of these men would not pour into our relationship as much as of themselves as I did myself. In the end, they siphoned from me more than I could bear. In this, they betrayed me. Heather Williams, eyes as blue as the water she so loved, she was my friend. Valerie Madsen, a kind visitor with cheeks and lips pink as the sunset, she was my friend. My mother, she was my friend. But all these women gave to temptations, and in doing so betrayed me. But they were victims too, like me, of the unjust world in which we live. And so I freed them, as only a true friend would do, from their temptation and from this unjust world. Oh my gosh, he killed his mom? I am sloughing the dead skin of my father, shedding the feathers of my mother, and you must bear witness to my tragedy. I entreat you, my dearest friend, not to lose hope. Do not give in to temptation. Remain steadfast and loyal. I am leaving Darlington, but I am not leaving... I got another one of these offline, so I can try to get these words together. I'm not leaving you. I know how to find you. You will hear from me again. Hear from me soon. I cannot give up our friendship no matter where I go. And so I leave this Hades to plant my dragon's teeth, to grow new companions, found my Thebes, and devour the Cadmuses of the world. I am the dragon swan. John William James. So this is probably the blood of Jacob Nielsen. That's pretty graphic there. So we will put this away. So let's just digest what we just heard. So he killed, make sure I understand these people. He kills mom and dad. He killed McGowan. He killed Heather. He killed Valerie. He killed Madsen. Possibly killed Nielsen. And did I say McGowan? So we got multiple murders he just admitted to here. Okay? Make sure I had the pig put away. The pig's put away. Don't want to lose that. Okay, next we got the silver pig, and we have a listing. Actually, there's a hunt a killer pin, but I think I got them backwards. I think we arranged them, but I got another pin. This is the hunt a killer one. That was probably supposed to go in one and listening friends, but it's alright. Okay, so let's see what we got. We got what we got. Anything else I need to know about? Okay, so now we have, these are library cards. I guess they were found with John William James. If you look at all of these, you can check by patient number. He's the last one to check all of these out. Okay? I'll show you a picture on screen. I didn't get any specific knowledge out of these, except this is where a lot of these pictures and stories have come from. So that's where he got a lot of his ideations. We have this little decoder card. We'll be using that later. Although I'm using an online tool because I don't destroy the evidence that was given on any of my cases. And now, the piece de resistance, our last piece of evidence for Hunt a Killer Awakening, Season 1. It is a black folder. John William James's file. I know we've been anxious to get a hold of this. Okay, so he was born 6/29/1956. His mom was about 17 and a half. Okay, 20 years later, when he was 20 years old, he killed his mother. He was put in jail for matricide, both in his intake form. 1977, he killed his father and committed arson. He probably murdered him in the fire, but you can go from that. Okay, he pled insanity, and now he's stuck here. He's direct transferred to the ward of the state. He was committed in 1992 to Listening Friends of America. Schizophrenia, he's got grandiose delusions. I think I called that all season. And PTSD. Okay, George Madison. To George Madison, Cobra 1, patient 1618. As you requested, we placed patient John James into Cobra 1. Unfortunately, his performance proved to be disappointing, to be euphemistic. James appeared to be completely lucid, yet he just sat there. He said nothing, nor did he move or make any discernible action there. He said nothing, nor did he move or make any discernible action towards progressing through the therapy. He did not even get up from his chair. Not only did he not solve Cobra 1, but in 1 hour and 20 minutes, that's 80 minutes, he did not even begin. We had to cancel the session at that point and pull him out. I know you expected him to solve everything quite quickly, but he did nothing. I can show you the video if you'd like, but it's pretty boring stuff. I've never seen anything like it. I'll offer you some small bits of data to give you some deeper context to my point. James is far and away unique in his performance. Among his peers, no patient has failed to at least start advancing through Cobra 1. No patient has taken longer than 30 minutes to realize they are participating in a session, or at least that things are not what they seem. No patient has ever taken longer than an hour to complete Cobra 1 once they've begun. I know you had such high expectations for this patient, but I have no idea how to categorize this data as anything other than a total failure. Considering James to be an outlier, I recommend we do not waste our time keeping him in the COBRA program. I would like to discuss with you at your earliest convenience how to proceed with James and any further analysis. Oh, COBRA 2. Guess I left him in. George, as you requested during our talk the other day, we went forward with placing James in COBRA 2. No dates? Okay. What happened was strange. The patient began the session by walking like before. I was fully prepared to remove him and place him back in his room, but as soon as I made the order, he started moving. There's no way he could have been responding to me, as you know. It must have been coincidence, but was nevertheless a little unsettling. So she also weighed the hour and 20 minutes. Somehow he's measuring time. I don't know why, but he's measuring time. He wants to know how much patience they have. He then started moving slowly, taking his time and walking very deliberately to various places in the room. He didn't do anything other than move from one place to another. The strange thing was that it wasn't any of the correct places for COBRA 2, but he went all the right places at COBRA 1. It was of one of our techs who noticed it first. The rooms are identical in their dimensions, but very different in their layout. I had them isolate images from CCTV for each position Mr. James paused, and they were overlaid over the image of the photo taken at the same angles as COBRA 1, and the patient's positions were exactly correct. I believe Mr. James could have solved COBRA 1 in record time had he only actually acted. He must have some sort of delay between reasoning, analysis, and motor skills. I'm not sure how to explain his behavior. I've never seen anything quite like it. With your permission, I'd like to place Mr. James under special observation to better understand his behavior. Okay, next we have a counseling of patient 1618. George, per your request and out of concern for the safety of our patients, here I am writing you to inform you some of our observations we have made regarding patient 1618. He has several fixations he frequently references in our discussions. Those include a swan as corresponding constellation Cygnus, which he seems to associate with his mother, and a dragon as corresponding constellation Draco, which he associated with his father. Mentioning either of his parents or the respective symbolic projections stimulates tension in 1618. You can see he has a keen interest in astronomy, particularly the stories behind the name of the constellations. I once suggested a book from our library, and looking at the records, he checked it out but has yet to return it, and that was last year. There are other fixations that continue to arise in our sessions. He assigns to acquaintances the roles of various mythological creatures. He is particularly fond of using the myth of Orpheus to describe individuals he has grown fond of. I believe in this scenario, individual as Orpheus is hate, and 1618 is Hades, or Satan. I'm uncertain who plays the role of Eurydice. Regardless, 1618 displays behaviors consistent with other patients diagnosed with schizophrenia and grandiose delusions. The popular lay term Messiah complex would be a suitable euphemism. He would talk about being a savior to his mom, so I wonder if that's somehow related. I should take this opportunity to warn you about something 1618 has become intimate with one of our custodians. I have noticed them from speaking on several occasions, and 1618 always appears to be behaving as if he's in charge. When I brought it up, our custodian denied any and all interaction with the patient. This is not normal behavior for our staff. With your permission, I would like to recommend our custodian manager that he be transferred to another facility to avoid any potential conflicts or disruptions. Perhaps we can give him a promotion and put him in charge of the custodial department in a new facility to quell any suspicions. Now, I'm going to pause here. This is Aaron DeVale. You can look at the Facebook group. At the end of this season, I'm going to post just a running video of the Facebook group for Listening Friends of America. And at some point, you will see that Aaron DeVale was a custodian from Darlington that was promoted to be a head custodian at Bozeman or Colorado. I don't know. He was moved to a different facility, but remember that, okay? Did I take a note to that? I doubt it. Well, you know what? Remember that because you can look that up. Okay. You can look that up when I post it at the end of the season. It'll be a little cliffhanger or cliff note for you to look at. Okay, next we have a letter from George to Felix. Felix, I am maintaining a copy of our correspondence from our records. I recommend you do the same. I believe that a patient at our facility is plotting something to the detriment of our organization. Mr. James, you may recall, has been under special observance for quite some time. By manipulating proxy agents to avoid our notice, he is planning something big. I have no real proof other than I know the patients here and they are beginning to act strangely. Most are now deferring to James with a small show of reverence. Believe me when I say this is not their normal behavior. I hope you might allow the budget for an extra orderly on staff with the discreet objective to covertly investigating Mr. James and his movements. George. Felix, you don't seem to... This is another letter from George to Felix. Felix, you don't seem to understand. Mr. James is spreading his influence into the staff here, and his reach is wide. I do not feel confident in our inner office server. That is why I am taking these lengths to contact you from outside the office. Mr. James is listening, so he did get access to their server. I've even received recommendations from our psychiatric staff to upgrade Mr. James's supervision. Kathy is one of the few people I still trust. We can bill it as a seasonal or temporary position. No one will have to know about it. I am growing incredibly worried. I caught him smiling at me from the garden. Please just allow me one more orderly. Since he was in the garden, that might be where he got the organophosphates that were used against McGowan. How he got them to McGowan, nobody knows. Okay, now these appear to be notes from Valerie. I believe this file came from Valerie Madsen. So these, I believe, are her notes. Kathy said he just sat there for 80 minutes. He was testing them, their patience. Told you. To know the response time. He was thinking of something the whole time, I'm sure of that. Why would Kathy wait 80 minutes before intervening? Why wouldn't she wait longer or less? 80 minutes exactly. John James. Gains respect to peers, tests our staff. Is he planning a coup? 80 minutes. Another note from Valerie. John James believes he is some sort of savior. Without the custodian, he's taken on another patient, Lloyd McGowan. He knows he can't transfer Lloyd without risking exposing that controversy with Richter. If someone found out, Felix would have a lot to answer for. How much does James know? More than he lets on? Oh! So, they couldn't transfer McGowan because, he was a friend of John William James. He can't transfer him because Lloyd McGowan has way too many dark skeletons about the whole Richter situation. Keep an eye on McGowan. 2 eyes on James. Nothing good will come of this. Is James testing us again? His reach? Our surveillance? You need to get Felix on board so I control this situation better. This actually might have come from George. I'll just dig. Maybe, I don't know. He's coming for me. Need to stop him. He can't be stopped. He's in control. He's making it all happen. The stars are only the beginning. When he begins, he'll slaughter us like pigs. He hasn't taken his medicine for months. Where does he hide it? Where did it go? Where can I go? I can stop him. Call Felix. Call the police. There's no proof. I'll just sound crazy. No one will believe me. No one to save me. I need to keep myself safe. Valerie and Noah safe. He's not crazy. He's not delusional. He's evil. We're also wrong. Now we pay. It's also nonsensical. So these must have all been from George, not Valerie. And this letter is from Valerie. If you're reading this and something horrible has happened to me, I no longer feel safe in my own house. I've sent our son away to live with family. For his safety, I will not say where. Why do I feel unsafe? I believe my husband George was murdered by a man named John William James, who is a patient at Listening Friends of America in Darlington, Maryland, but who has corrupted their institution for personal gain. I believe John James has had help from Jacob Nilsson, who works there, and who took over my husband's job after he disappeared. I cannot prove it, but I know it. He had something to gain after all. George was close to exposing John James, and I'm sure they killed him for it. Now I know what George knew. I believe I made a mistake. They know what I know. I am writing this because if they come after me, before I can prove anything, hopefully you'll be able to take up the investigation. Prove John James killed my husband and put him in prison for the rest of his life. Here's the file and everything my husband looked into before he disappeared, everything I have gathered. Here's what I think happened. John James attempted to manipulate a custodian into doing his dirty work. That would be Aaron DeVale. Okay, the custodian was sent away when John James' plan was discovered to keep the matter quiet. John James' second attempt to manipulate another patient, Lloyd McGowan, into helping him in some way. Somehow, after covertly testing his security, surveillance, and competence, and perhaps the aid of Lloyd McGowan, John James was able to devise a procedure to get himself out in and out of the facility without drawing attention to his movements. This freed him to murder my husband and hide his body. I recently read the news that Lloyd McGowan was found dead in his home. He seemed nice, remember right, but gullible. I think once Lloyd McGowan helped John James to escape the facility the first time. He realized what an evil man he is. Maybe he tried to cut ties with John James. Couldn't allow a loose end like that. Loose end? I'm certain Lloyd McGowan knew something that could put John James in real prison. He doesn't anymore. Jacob Nielsen benefited from George's disappearance. He's connected somehow. John James's new lackey? I emailed him about George and he has yet to respond. This was her mistake. That's all I know so far. Take this and the rest and put William James away forever. He has another contact, some pen pal to Listening Friends of America. That's us. Find them. They must know more. And then we have this little puzzle piece. Okay, so now I know we use this disc to solve this. So you have the K and the A, and then you go from E, F, E, D, Z, G, G, etc. Okay? And we finally get that. It corresponds to we are all reborn. Now, what does that do for us? Well, that becomes our little situation. Okay? Somehow we are all reborn. We're going to use that somehow. Okay? So, we got the file. Silver Pig. Now we have a Listening Friends of America pen. Isn't that neat? A nice writing utensil. Now, something special about this pen. This, as you can see, is a USB drive. You put it in there, and there's an encoded file on there. And we are all reborn is the password. So, I'm going to give you the final words of it, and then I'm going to let you watch the ending video. I'd like to thank you for sticking with me with this little investigation into Hunt a Killer Awakening. I will play the video, and then we will come back. I'll read my final synopsis of what happened and how it ties into the Hunt a Killer universe.
My dearest friend, I do hope you know how much I value your companionship. Our relationship, though it may be unconventional, is a precious thing. All friendships are. Yet where does one draw the line between friend and friendship? Are they inseparable? I used to think that was the case. Indeed, the world has once again disproved the myth of the incorruptible bond. I stand now behind yet another friend who has chosen to void our convivial camaraderie and betray me like so many others.
Jacob, read it.
George Madsen, unimaginative and cynical, he was my friend. Lloyd McGowan, ragged and wretched, he was my friend. And yet both of these men would not pour into our relationship as much of themselves as I did of myself. In the end, they siphoned from me more than I could bear. In this, they betrayed me. Heather Williams, eyes as blue as the water she so loved. She was my friend. Valerie Madsen, a kind visitor with cheeks and lips pink as the sunset. She was my friend. My mother, she was my friend. But all of these women gave into temptations, and in doing so betrayed me. but they were victims too, like me, of the unjust world in which we live. And so I freed them, as only a true friend would do, from their temptation and from this unjust world.
Look at the camera.
I am sloughing the dead skin of my father, shedding the feathers of my mother, and you must bear witness to my tragedy. I entreat you, my dearest friend, do not lose hope. Do not give in to temptation. Remain steadfast and loyal. I am leaving Darlington, but I am not leaving you. I know how to find you. You will hear from me soon. I cannot give up our friendship, no matter where I go. And so I leave this Hades to plant my dragon's teeth, to grow new companions, found my Thebes, and devour the Cadmus of the world. I am the dragon swan. Always.
Kind of a creepy video right there. John William James admits to the murders of his parents, George and Val Madsen, Lloyd McGowan, Heather Williams, and threatens us. If we turn our back on him, he knows where we live. He's going to come get us. If you notice on some of these things I've had to cover up, because at some point they start putting your address on the letters. So somehow he figured out who you were and where you live. Kind of interesting. Now, John William James has delusions of grandeur and was recruiting followers. Now, once these followers betrayed him or just didn't do everything he wanted, he killed them. He also came and went from the facility at will. In the end video, we see him slit the throat of his latest follower, Jacob Nielsen. John William James has escaped. That's the end. So we have, 8, 9 murders? So, that's interesting. It's a very fascinating case and a good way to look at the beginning of Hunt a Killer. Now, how does this fit into the grand scheme of trying to figure out what happened to Michelle Gray? Well, this is before she showed up. She didn't show up. The first case she showed up was Class of '98, which is season 4. So look at the earlier things that led up to this. So right now we got one guy in charge of Awakening. It's the beginning of the company, the beginning of the investigation. That's pretty much all we have to glean from this. So, again, if you have any questions, keep putting posts on here. And next week we move into Transformation. Season 2, Transformation. It'll be fun. This is This is Justin Lawrence, investigator for Just In Case, signing out. See you next season.